Good morning and welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. And truly all is well in the world, and we're coming out the other side of this pandemic because we have Diane and Ida back doing music for the first time. Woo! Oh, makes my heart sing. Oh, and so we join this day as a community of faith, as a circle of kindred souls who are blessed to walk through this world together, side by side, regardless of what's going on. We always have the presence of the divine and each other. And we affirm this as we open our service with lighting our Christ candles here, and you at home, please light yours as well. And we sing, "Come Light, Light of God," as we do that. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. And we are here in the world on this All Hallows Eve, and we are truly an authentic, transformative, spiritual community centered in God. We co-create a world that works for all. And we do that by settling in this day with one another near and far with "I Am Home."
Yes, we are home, and here we are. So I'll do my best Cirque du Soleil impression here from the front. So if you see me doing handstands while I'm trying to read this, you'll understand why. So as we talk about in this congregation a lot is that we are really a work in progress. We're moving through life doing what we do and becoming more and more conscious of our activities, how it all fits in, and how we fit in, not only with each other, but with the world and spirit. This came across my screen, and I thought I'd share it with you because I think it has some real meaning for me anyway. Humanity's responsibility to manifest goodness is our birthright. Goodness resides in the community, the web of life, in the relations of the whole biosphere, past, current, and future. Wholeness rests in the complete. Ultimately, our individual happiness rests on the health and well-being of the larger Earth system and in our common good. No matter how sophisticated or complex or powerful our institutions, we are still exactly as dependent on the Earth as the Earth. The Garden of Eden is a place of wholeness and unfolding life itself. Jesus talked about the heaven on earth is here right now. That's the Garden of Eden. Creation is a result of God's goodness overflowing, and it was declared very good. There is something immature about our desire for the Garden of Eden to be perfect. A more appropriate view of creation would be potential, divine potential. God designed the world to develop and function in a certain way, while allowing the creative to live freely in its potential. Potential reminds us, once again, that the goodness is both an original and a goal. It is given to us as a gift, but is also given to us as a calling. So let us step into that calling and strive to reach our potential. Isn't that just divine? And I was thinking about when I saw that, what really struck me is, yes, we have free will. God created this wonderful earth school for us to be here in. And our challenge is to step into spirit and live that potential, that divine idea. And we're getting there slowly, but we're getting there. I have great faith in that. And along with that, because of All Hallows Eve, we are also protected from those ghosts and goblins that come up in our life. Today, on the 31st, protected. I find my protection in the light of faith and truth. I smile and act frightened as I recognize the neighborhood children as they come by my door wearing crazy masks, scary costumes. Children of all ages enjoy playing make-believe, pretending that fright is part of the fun of Halloween. Now and then, in response to an unexpected or unwelcome challenge, more serious thoughts of fears seep into my mind and upset my emotional well-being. Anybody had one of those come by? At the first hint of unease, I remember that all of the protecting power of God is as near as my next thought. I say no to fear and yes to faith. My confidence grows as I practice the divine presence, discovering not only the protecting power of God, but also the guiding love and wisdom everywhere I go and in everything I do. The psalmist put it this way: "For who is God except the Lord? And who is the rock besides our God? And the God who has girthed me into strength has made me safe." And that is so, and so it is.
So here we are on All Hallows Eve, with tomorrow is All Saints Day and Tuesday is All Souls Day, a 3-day process of standing at the portal and then recognizing the people that have inspired us and then honoring all of our earthly journeys. And so for the first time, we've created an altar to the ancestors here. And David had this idea, which was wonderful, because on Tuesday, All Souls Day is also known as the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, where you celebrate the ancestors and those who have gone before. And so you'll find pictures and images on the altar of people and animals, companions in spirit for us now that went before us and upon whose shoulders we stand, as Maya Angelou would say. And so this altar will be here on Tuesday. It will be candlelit with music in the background. So you're welcome to come in, add something to it if you'd like, spend some time in prayer and meditation on All Souls Day with us. And so I want to bless this table, this altar, and then I'd like us to sing Be Thou My Vision. That was one of our songs that we're going to do. So I'll do a blessing, and then We'll together sing, Be Thou My Vision, as we dedicate ourselves to being part of a lineage that came before, that is alive now, and will go forth from us into the future. This is the altar, the table, not of the church, but of divine presence. It is made ready for those who love and who want to love more. It invites all to enter the divine mystery of life and soul and spirit. So come. Each is loved exactly as you are. You who have much faith and you who have little. You who have been here often and you who have not. You who have tried to follow and you who have gone astray. You have been included and you who have been in exile. All are welcome. Come not here because I invite you, but because the divine presence does. Be thou my vision. Be thou my vision, O Lord of my heart. What else, Lord, do me, save that thou art the sun by day or by night, waking or sleeping, thy presence my light. Be thou my wisdom, and thou my true word. I ever with thee, and thou with me, Lord. Thou my great mother, and I thy true child. Thou in me dwell, and I with thee one. Oh, and now from that beautiful song that's one of my favorites ever, I invite us now to prepare to settle into a time of prayer and meditation together, into sacred space. And we'll use the beautiful chant sanctuary to take us deep into meditation and then to bring us back out. So sanctuary will unite us in spirit as we each move into that inner place of the divine that abides at the core of our being. Sanctuary. Oh, so I invite you to settle into this holy moment, allowing your breathing to slow and deepen, feeling Mother Earth beneath your feet, Father Sky above your head, and all of the created world around you. On this All Hallows Eve, we reaffirm one of our unity principles, that we truly are eternal beings having an earthly experience for a divine reason. This day is called Hallow Mass, the Mass of all that is hallowed, all that is held sacred. And this night is All Hallows Eve, where the veil is thin between the seen and the unseen, and where we can commune with the spirits of those who have gone before, receiving their gifts and offering them ours as well, in a beautiful communion of remembrance and honoring and love. So feel yourself as we do this Hallow Mass. Open to have the eyes to see the divine in the midst of all of the unfoldings of life, those that we meet with laughter and those that we meet with tears, those that we rush toward with open arms and those that we withdraw from in fear. The presence of the divine is in everything and with you through it all. No matter how shadowed the night may seem, there are stars in the night sky, lights by day and night with moon and sun, and companions always who walk with you in love and shared grace wherever the journey takes us. We give thanks for all who have gone before, all of those who inspire us and who walk the path, making the way a bit clearer for those who have followed. We take a moment to give thanks for all of those who have gone before, upon whose shoulders we now stand. And as a continuation of that legacy, become present in this moment and realize that you are here doing soul work, not only for your own soul, but for the benefit of all. Realize that your presence is more important and essential to all of our unfoldings than perhaps you can even imagine. Every small act of kindness and prayer and hope and faith is a shimmering candle in this world. And with that in mind, open in willingness as you look forward from that moment into that which will come in the future. And be willing to be a channel for all the blessings that have been, all the blessings that are, and adding yours to all the blessings yet to come for generations for which you are the carrier of the legacy, even as the ancestors were carriers of that legacy for you. Allow your hands and your presence in your life to be a chalice that you pour forth into those yet to come, willingly and lovingly. Now returning to this moment, in the midst of this day of the honoring of the hallowedness of all of life in its unfoldings, I invite you to bring all of the prayers that are yours this day for yourself, those near and dear, friends and those far away, and for all of our brothers and sisters around the globe who pray this day with us for light and peace and grace for all. Let us now pray silently or aloud, however each is guided, knowing that we are uplifting your prayers as one, and we will celebrate their unfoldings in the coming days. Let us pray. We add to these prayers all of those entrusted to the High Watch prayer chaplains, written, spoken, or sent soul to soul. And we also bring into this prayer our wonderful ancestor altar with all of the souls in all of their forms that we hold near and dear this day and for the next 3 days in a consciousness of oneness and presence. I invite you now to regather your life as it is and yourself as you are, and allow peace that passes all understanding to descend upon your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul. And as you prepare to return to the outer world, I invite you to receive a gift of words from Donna Markova's "I will not die an unlived life." Let this inspire you on this All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day. Let us swing wide all the doors and windows of our hearts on their rusty hinges, so that we may learn how to open in love. Let us see the light in the other and honor it, so that we may lift one another on our shoulders and carry each other along. Let holiness move in us, so that we may pay attention to its small voice and give ourselves to life fully with both hands. And so, restored, renewed, and rededicated, I invite you now once again to sing Sanctuary, linking inner and outer realms in the oneness from which they were created and in which they exist always. Sanctuary. The divine in you, namaste. And take a moment and just Look around the people near you, either here or at home, and just behold the light in each one. We are so blessed to share this world with one another. Oh, for all of you at home, namaste from all of us here. And now, the wonderful gift of special music with Ida and Diane. Ah, beautiful. Thank you. Oh, that beautiful classic prayer. That's a prayer of presence, absolute presence in the midst of life. It's one that people memorize. It's one of the most remembered prayers in the world. And it begins with our Father, our universal presence, not mine or yours, but ours. That deep sense that we all come from the divine, and in right time we return to the divine, but we get to dance through this world together for however long we are here for. All Hallows Eve is a celebration of life, life in the midst of even darkness and fear. Life lives and shines and continues. This morning, Beverly shared with me some of the lyrics of All Souls Night that will be on Tuesday by Lorena McKennitt. the great Celtic singer. I love Lorena McKennitt. Bonfires dot the rolling hillsides. Figures dance round and round to the drums that pulse out echoes of darkness, moving to the pagan sound. Standing on the bridge that crosses the river that goes out to the sea, the wind is full of 1,000 voices. They pass by the bridge and me. I can see the lights in the distance, trembling in the dark cloak of night. Candles and lanterns are dancing, dancing a waltz on All Souls Night. Isn't that beautiful? I remember as a kid, I loved to get dressed up for Halloween. It's always been one of my favorite holidays. I was going to wear my witch's hat this morning, and I put it on and then I took it off, and I realized that my post witch hat hair would be much more frightening to you all than the witch's hat. So it is here in spirit. Oh, because that joy and fun of dressing up, putting on a mask, going trick-or-treating. Back when I was a kid, we could go in the neighborhood and go trick-or-treating. And I loved it when we lived in Washington, D.C. It was an old neighborhood with a couple of big old houses where these elderly women lived there that had been there for decades. And back then it was actually safe enough. She'd say, come on in, and you'd go into her kitchen and she'd have hot cider on the stove and fresh baked cookies and caramel apples. And it was so fun. And the other thing that I loved the most, almost as much, if not more than the candy, was at school, we'd get a little box that we could carry on Halloween for UNICEF. And you collect coins for the children of the world. And then you took them to the school. And they got it all together and sent it out. And I remember loving that I was collecting not just stuff for me, but stuff to bless the world with. And I think that's what so much of this All Hallows Eve is about. It's about recognizing all of the blessings, even on a night when we love to try and get scared. And as the old Scots said, it's the long-legged beasties and things that go bump in the night. Because for us, don't you have long-legged beasties and things that go bump in the night that sometime arrive in the middle of the night and wake you up at 3 a.m? Your fears, your concerns, your grief. I find that I frequently get awakened around 3 a.m. And for me, that becomes this portal of prayer. And sometimes I wake up and I know exactly who I'm supposed to be sending a prayer for. Other times I have no idea. But the portal is very thin at that time. As a nurse, I learned we had more births and more deaths in that 2 to 3 a.m. time when the veil is thin. And it's so that thin veil time is a wonderful time to do prayers and to connect with the presence of spirit. I used to talk to spirit and say, can you please get my attention at 3 p.m. instead of 3 a.m? And it's, nope, we got to wait till you're quiet and the veil is thinner, and then we'll deliver the messages. And so it's soul work, and it's something you can do day or night. But Halloween and the whole Halloween tradition, the whole concept of the beginning of the harvest, the lighting of the bonfires as night gets longer and days get shorter, are celebrated all over the world. This is part of the traditions of India and ancient Egypt and the Native American peoples and the Asian peoples in Japan and China. This is one of those cross-quarter days for all of the world. And so All Hallows, why should we be scared? when it's all hallows, all is hallowed, all is sacred. Because one of the things that we learn as we grow as souls is that frequently the things that scare us and the people that challenge us the deepest are the ones that bring us the deepest soul lessons and opportunities to grow in faith, to grow in presence, to grow spiritually. I look back and there are things that would I rather have not gone through? Yes. But in all honesty, I wouldn't be here now had it not been for those things. The things that I put on the altar to the ancestors is my brother Doug. And there's a picture there of my brother Doug and I when we were children, and then the time that we reconnected for the first time after many years as adults. And Lane was there and took the picture that was there. And as many of you know, Doug was born profoundly retarded, multi-handicapped, and spent over 50 years in the back ward of the state school in Austin. And I was blessed to become his guardian the last few years of his life, his legal guardian. I'd been his guardian and he'd been mine my whole life. And so for me, he was the one that initiated me on a path of service back when I remember communing with him when I was too young for words, but we soul communed with one another. And so that sorrow, that grief of having a brother that I would love to have had walk with me embodied as my big brother, I had to let go of that so that I could embrace the beautiful way that soul chose to connect with me and bless me in this lifetime. That became a hallowed relationship, a blessed relationship, even though part of me to this day wish that we could have communed in the more traditional way. But 90% of me is nothing but grateful that he chose that soul path and helped me choose mine. So that brings us from All Hallows to All Saints' Day. Monday in the tradition of the church is All Saints' Day. And many of you probably have a patron saint that came with your name, or if you were raised Catholic, one of the saints was said to watch over you from the time you were born and was reaffirmed at your first communion. There are wonderful books you can actually buy. I've got one that I bought at the Albuquerque Airport bookstore that's called Saints Preserve Us. And it is a whole book that lists all of the different saints and a little bit about their stories. And you can look back up in the back of the book in the index and find what the patron saint is for your birthday, for your career. They've updated it over the centuries. You can look up and find out what the patron saint for airplanes and computers are now. But it's based on the older energies. You know, the computers were the ones that were for the scribes. The airplanes were for travel. Back then, it wasn't in the sky, but it's that same energy. So if you want to do something fun sometime, go look up. You could look it up online. What patron saints are for perhaps your career, something you're interested in. And read a little bit about that saint. Each saint has stories. And the thing that I finally realized is I kept thinking, oh, well, those saints, they were so connected with God, I couldn't even begin to be like them. I can hold them as this ideal. And then when you read their stories, you realize how all of them went through incredible challenges. St. Francis of Assisi, that we all love, went through tremendous challenges as he found his path, just like we do. And so when I think of the saints now, rather than a plaster saint that's idealized, I see a living, breathing being who experienced the world and managed to figure out how to find that presence and hollow all things, find the blessings in all things. That's what made them special, not because they were different from us, but because they were like us and they can help show us the way. My favorite name for Jesus is light bearer and way shower. Those two, way shower. I love that. One of the things that's fun to do is many of us didn't grow up with a particular saint, but we've all grown up with heroes and heroines, with favorite fairy stories or books or movies that had heroes and heroines that inspired us. And they all go through the story arc of the hero's journey where they leave what they've known and they cross what's called the event horizon where you can't go back. You have to go forwards. Haven't we all been there? And it goes down and there are challenges and you meet those challenges and you find allies and friends to help you as you face the challenges and enemies that arrive and you get through the first challenge, but then another one comes and you go through that dark night of the soul of, oh, not again. I took care of that. And that dark night of the soul where you meet your fears at that crossroads. Crossroads are big on All Hallows Eve. And the choice is, where do you go from here? Which route do you go? Do you stay in fear? Do you move a little bit more into faith? Both paths are all right because the presence of the divine is on all of them. All of them. And so then gathering energy from within, the hero and the heroine then begin to move the upward arc. And they have new challenges, but they also have more allies. And the allies they'd made become truer and deeper friends than ever before. And with that soul connection of those allies gathered along the way and helping to raise one up, realizing you're not doing it alone. All you need is within you, but you still don't have to do it alone. If that's not grace, I don't know what is. Until you come up and you return home with all of the gifts that you've gained, the wisdom, the insight from the journey itself. And so think about who were your biggest heroes, heroines in stories and movies as you were growing up. And I invite you to spend a little bit of time on All Saints' Day, communing with them and recognizing why they are attuned to you and you attune to them. There are going to be some resonances and it will gift you with some insights about your own spiritual journey, your own life journey, as to, oh, that's why that person inspired me so much. One of my heroines was Annie Sullivan, the teacher that worked with Helen Keller. Another one was Florence Nightingale. And another one was the nun in the Nun Story with Audrey Hepburn, I think, the movie that came out years ago. I said, oh, I want to be a nun. And my parents said, Pam, you can't do that. You're not Catholic. But I love that devotion, that idea of devotion. And in my life, I taught multi-handicapped deaf-blind children. I became an RN and a Unity minister. So they really did inspire me in a way that manifested. And it's true for all of us. So think about that on Monday. Who, maybe an ancestor, someone within your own family, It may be somebody famous. It may be a mentor you've had. It may be someone real. It may be someone in a story. But commune with someone on Monday. Thank them for the gift of their example, because I promise you, whether you're in body or you're in spirit, prayers of gratitude and love and appreciation always land in your heart. And then on Tuesday, we come to All Souls Day, the Day of the Dead, where in Mexico, they physically will go to the graves and set out feasts and celebrate and dance and do music, because they believe the veil is so thin that you can literally commune with the ancestors that night. That goes back into ancient Egypt. As people were put within the tombs in ancient Egypt, they put food and drink, and if they played a musical instrument, that went in there. They gave them the gifts for the afterlife and shared them with them. And so All Souls Day is saying, okay, you've stood at the portal and you're dealing with your life as it is right now, really realizing how thin that veil can be. And then you've recognized, okay, these are the people that inspired me with what I've done with my life, and who can inspire me this day in whatever each one of us is facing this day. And then on Tuesday, we get to go, we're all bearers of the light. We are all way showers. We are all the ones who can be the presence for ourselves and one another in the world. That's why the altar to the ancestors, to see the images of those who went before and those who are here now, All Souls Day. It doesn't go from All Saints Day to those of you who are doing pretty well. It's All Souls. Our Father. It's universal. It's for one and for all. And it's recognizing that in our embodied lives, that presence of the divine gets to be made manifest, literally in and through and as us. And so on Tuesday, on All Souls Day, I invite you to take some time as you travel around Port Townsend or wherever you're going to be on Tuesday. Notice people that you normally would just walk past. Maybe somebody in line at the grocery store. Maybe someone you see walking downtown. Maybe it's someone you remember that you haven't thought of in a long time. Notice the spark of God in them, because that spark of God is there in everyone. Celebrate All Souls Day by seeing not what people look like by outer appearance, but the light of their soul that shines through their eyes, through their presence in the world. That was the greatest gift that Doug gave me, is to look past the outer appearance of things and to see arightly, as the little prince would say. That which is invisible is what is essential and true. Looking into the very soul and spirit of another. Doug was an evolved spiritual master in a body that was twisted and had challenges his whole life. But in there was the light of what I know was one of my great masters. And because of Doug, as I did the soul work with multi-handicapped children as a nurse with people that had incredible things going on, I remembered him. And in doing so, I could look into the eyes of everyone and ask that I see their soul. Sometimes it's easier to do than others. but it is always possible. Each one of us on All Souls Day can honor ourselves. Take a moment in the morning and look in the mirror. One of the people that it's hardest for us to see that divine in is ourselves. Look in the mirror for just a few minutes and make eye contact with yourself and say, I love you, beloved child of God. That sounds easy, but it's harder to do than you may think. And as you do so, just give thanks that your soul got to come to this time and this place during these challenging times to bring the light, to be the presence, to embody the presence of God in large and small ways through who you are. I'd like to read the Donna Markova piece one more time in closing. And I invite this to be your prayer for All Hallows Eve and Hallowmas, for All Saints Day on Monday, and All Souls Day on Tuesday. Let us swing wide all the doors and windows of our hearts on their rusty hinges, so that we may learn how to open in love. Let us see the light in the other and honor it, so that we may lift one another on our shoulders and carry one another along. Let holiness move in us, so that we may pay its attention to its small voice and give ourselves to life fully with both hands. May this 3 days of sacred, hallowed, and holy time bring you rich blessings. And may you go forth sharing those blessings with the world. Let us pray. Oh, sweet, sweet Spirit, abiding presence of the divine. Oh, we are so grateful for our world and for one another. We ask for your blessing, for your support and comfort, for your wisdom and inspiration as we each do the best we can with who we are in this moment. We give thanks to recognize that the divine is present in everything. We give thanks for the saints and the heroes and heroines who inspired us. And we give thanks for our own souls and the souls all around us, who are the saints unfolding now through their lives and their prayers and their presence. May we, at the end of our lives, celebrate and honor the journey of our souls in this realm, knowing that we have been part of a legacy of blessings that began long, long ago back in spirit, long, long ago in this world, that come through us and that we send forth as a legacy into the future. We give thanks for this life. We give thanks for one another to walk beside in this life. And we celebrate the candles and lanterns that are dancing a waltz on All Souls Night and always. And so it is, amen, and blessed be. Oh, and now another favorite song of mine. Diane and Ida, we've got kindred souls for sure. God speaks to me, and then I'll be doing open my eyes that I may see during the offering. God speaks to me.
you so much. And as we prepare for our offering, I think today we could dedicate that offering to all of those that have gone before us, to those who have paved the way, no matter whether we knew them personally or if it was just inspired by a thought, a word, whatever it might be. But let's just dedicate that because we are part of that whole ecosystem called life, the biosphere of ourselves. So with that, let's take out our offering and we'll bless it as we do here each week. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful indeed. And now we have another song. Thank you, ladies. Do we have get over here yet? Sweet, sweet Spirit, Mother, Father, God, thank you again for this glorious time. And the veil is thin, and we get to feel the presence of all those who have gone before us, the presence of those around us, and the presence of those yet to come. Thank you for the gifts that we receive here this day, and we send them forward through our community, the larger community, and across the planet, that we all may find that place of oneness, the place of our origin, and take that as a challenge and a purpose and a calling to bring forth that Garden of Eden, the place where it all works together in complete harmony. That's the place of spirit. And let us do that in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen.
So it is.
So normally we would do it. What? What? Ha! We're not going to do that right now. Because we decided, I think, we're semi-decided, I decided last week, Pam wasn't here to challenge it, that we would do it after we do the closing. So we will do our announcements after the closing. So there's a couple of things to stick around for. There's a couple of hangers here. So where'd you go? There you are. You know, when you miss your peripheral vision, you really miss it.
I told you the veil was thin today.
Yeah, I was. You weren't lying. Oh, I think we're ready for the peace song, please. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous plan, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. And we know the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And as the light of God, we shine. And as the love of God, we embrace. And as the power of God, we stand in truth. And as the presence of God, we move forward in our divinity in all that we do.
Yes, and as the church cathedral bell rings, David will blow out the Christ candle, and the symbolism is, as you all are at home, blow out your candles, and we send it out on a great wave of blessings to be the light in the world as us. Blessings.
Okay, now don't move. This is important. So, Michael, we'll let you take the mic first.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Michael Megan. I'm part of the Ananda group meditation meeting at 7 p.m. Monday evenings. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to attend. It's based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. The practice lasts no more than 1 hour. Opening prayer, a chant. We also have a spiritual reading, and then about 45 minutes of meditation. There are special prayer requests and a closing prayer. I invite each and every one of you. My phone number, 360-390-8630. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Mike. Yes.
Michael, I put Yogananda as one of my great gurus as on our altar. Yes.
And that's a reminder for all of us to go to the website. There's the Yogananda meditation. There's a Tibetan meditation. We have a lot of activities going on that occur every week. However, as you walk outside, don't leave yet. There's okay. It's a scary thing. So as we start really the holiday season now, next event comes up as Thanksgiving. And we have, as a church, supported 8 houses,
Yes.
little cottages over on Haines Street for, I don't know how many years now, but those are housing. So somebody has been in crisis. They lost their home. They've got a family that's broken up. There's all sorts of backstories behind it. But every year we bless them with a Thanksgiving dinner. And then we bless them at Christmas time as well. We kind of adopted this little set of 8 houses. And I cannot tell you how much appreciation and love comes from those gifts. And so as you hit your pay for now button, or you come to church and provide a check, we want to collect money for their Thanksgiving dinner. So you just have to earmark it so we know we don't get it confused with the church's normal operating. Take advantage of that. We already have 2 people that have stepped forward. We've got moving very quickly forward to providing a Thanksgiving dinner for 8 households. And it truly is a blessing. So I just want to bring that to our attention. And I think you're free to go now. Oh, wait a minute. We got 2 hands in the back of the room. Lane first. Who would you contact, myself or Mary Dean? Actually, Mary Dean and myself, put it that way. Because Mary Dean's our hostess for that. Yes, Jan. Just fun. We give them a gift card so they can go there, do their own shopping. So and it's all the basic food, for the turkey and whatever their tradition would be in that household. So it's their decision. Okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Go out and say boo.
Trick or treat. Happy Halloween. Thank you, Michael. And
Hi, Geraldine, Sky, Trinity, Rebecca, Rob, and Teddy. Nice to see you here. Turn off your mics if you wish to say something.
I think the sound went better today. How did other people feel?
I thought, whoopsie. Hey, how, unmute. Okay, Rob, you're unmuted. I
Hi.
thought it sounded great.
It was better. Yeah.
Good.
Hi.
Hey, there's Teddy. Yay.
On my
Well,
knees.
you just bring the chair back.
Did you guys think the sound sounded good, Rob and Teddy?
Yeah, it was certainly louder.
Yeah, that was
Although
better.
it did go up and down, which meant we had to adjust our volume up and down. So that's the only.
We got a message at one point that the music wasn't loud enough, so I think that might have been part of the up and down.
Right. Yeah, and there was also I don't know which microphone it was. And it cut out for just a second, and then it would take some time to come back up again. It may have been
Oh.
on the board, something messed up on the board.
I noticed you could hear the strings of the violin, or like they're on my headset anyhow. Oh, here's David. Oh, wait a minute. He's got a, there he is.
Hi, David.
Oh, I better mask up, now I got this, not 6 feet.
Be good.
Hey, there's Pam.
Hi.
Hi, Pam.
Hi, good to see you all. How are things at your home?
Sunny and beautiful.
Good, beautiful day out there.
It is. Yeah.
Yes,
Did you have a good time at your retreat, honey? And where did you go?
I did. It was wonderful. I went with my soul sister, Sarah, and we went and spent